and let's name this as console. Next, let's name this as function. Let me share inside your folder. Alright everyone, so let's get started. Let's create a function. Actually I need 4 functions and I need a management program to be written. So let me create a function public static void, and that's add. And you know what, I have to always do something in every function. So what I have to do in every function is I need to read a value of 2 numbers. So for that, let me create a function that read a value. So let us say I define 2 variables, integer first and second, and what I have to need to do is I need to read this in every value. So instead of this add, let me just create a function to get value. Get value is the function that will be get reading this first and the second number. And this, what this will do, this will just read console.write enter first number, and that is storing first. Okay, actually I can't read it directly, I need to make it public. Okay, so this has to be static. So first equals to integer.parse. I'll be explaining about the static keyboard later on. Enter the second number. And second should be now equal to integer.parse. So okay, we read 2 numbers now in one, and we have stored that inside a function called getValue. Now we want to do an addition. So let's just create public static void and add. And before I add, what I need to do is to read this value. So I'll just be calling a get value function here. So this, if I do this, then this will do this for me and get the sum. I'm getting the sum. Sorry, not a plus b. Let us name this as first 0. Second also assigned to 0. And in this case, I just want to have first plus second. And let me write the sum of the both numbers. The sum of so and so is so. That's first, second, and sum. All right, now this is 0, 1, and 2. So we write the first sum. Similarly, I want to have a subtraction. Subtract. Again, we need to read the value. So instead of doing this all, I'm simply calling this function get value here. Once I do that, it's a difference equals to first minus second. Let me write the value. The difference of so and so is so. Difference. Okay. So this is 0, 1 and 2. Alright. Similarly, I want to have a product. Again, I need to read the value, so I'll just call a get value function. And here I can display the product of so and so it's so. Alright, so let's pass the value 0, 1 and 2. Finally, division. Right, and now let's say if you want to divide, I can have again a get value function being called here. We can see I'm calling get value everywhere. Otherwise, I would have to repeat this code everywhere. So get value is minimizing my work. This is the advantage of function. And integer division equals to first divided by second, and I can simply just write console write line and just say the division of the quotient of so and so is so. First comma second comma division. 0, 1 and 2. We're done with all those insert, let's say add, subtract, multiply, and everything, everyone. We have done everything, and we have also called the function, defined the function called get value, and I have also called this function in many places. Now I want to create a menu, so I want to create a menu here. So let me go to the main and let me create a menu. Let's say x equals to 1, while x double equals to 1. Let me create a menu. The right line. Press 1 to add. Press 2 to subtract. Subtract. Press 3 to multiply. Press 4 to divide. Divide. And finally, I want him to enter his choice. Enter your choice. Now I want. This is what I want. Enter your choice. Slash 3. He may enter from 1 to 4. And I want to release choice. Now let me use a switch case statement to switch according to its choice. Now here simply what I need to do is to call a function. That's it. Add, break. I don't need to do anything else. Subtract. That's it. Break. Here's 3. Just call the function. That's it. Product. Break. Here's 4. Divide. Break. And let's say case 5 if he is pressing any other thing. So let the default. Anything other than this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set x equals to 2. And once x equals to 2, if he presses anything, the x value will be changed and this will come out of the loop. Once done with everything, so I'll just make a console log right here. So this is how the menu program will work here. Case 1, let me also just do console it here, so your all output should be done. Let me call it everywhere. We will be having output in a neat and clean screen. So see, the function minimizes a lot of work here. Let's run and check how it works. This is a menu, choice 1. Now the function will be called get value. So that's 87 and 43. And now again the sum of 87 and 43 is 110. Let's set 2. First number something, second number something, and then this gives you the difference of 34 and 30. 3. First number, second number, and this gives you the product. 4, 2, and let's say 2. Division, let's say 5, and you get out of the program. Nothing happens. If you press enter, then you get out of the program. So let's say what I did in this case is I simply created a variable, first and the second, which is equals to 0. Then I need to read this value everywhere. For example, if I have to perform add, I have to read this value. Yeah, if I have to do subtract, I have to read the value. If I have to multiply, I have to read the value. So I need to read the value many places. So instead of doing that many places, what I did is I created a function, public static void get value, and here I am reading the value from the user. And again, I created a function called add. In the add, I need to read the value. So instead of reading the value, I called this function called get value. So once this function is called, so this will get executed. I calculated the sum, printed the sum, my job done. Similarly for subtract, instead of reading the value from the user, I am calling a get value function, which is doing that on my behalf. Calculated the difference, did my job, done. Similarly for product, I simply call get value, which is reading the value from the user. Done my job with the product and finished. Similarly for the division also, I just call the function called get value, that is reading the value from the users, perform the division operation, and my job is done. Then in the main program, I created a menu by using a while loop, in which I created a variable called x is equal to 1, and I'm checking the condition while x is equal to 1, and you can see x is always equal to 1. So since this x is always equal to 1, so this will move into a loop, infinite loop. So this loop will work till the time your x value does not get altered. So I created a menu, 1 add, 2 subtract, 3 multiply, 4 divide, and I read the user's choice, and I just use a switch case. If choice equals to 1, I call the add function. If choice equals to 2, then I call the subtract function. If it is 3, then multiply, 4, then divide. So also let me just have this here. This one also let me have this here. Have this here as well. So I do not want the screen to be dirty. Okay, I cannot have it here because again this will also erase my output. This will erase my output. Okay. So this is okay. Add done, subtract done, multiply, divide done, and if it is anything other than 1 to 4, then what I am doing in this case is I am using SQL logic. I am setting the value of x is equal to 2. Why? Because I want to come out of this loop. So once I come out of this loop, so my loop will be done. So I may come out of the program. Please have some question. Yeah, the program is being recorded, Neeraj. The program is being recorded. So let me again come back to this part. So we just used a function that is not returning any value for now. But let us say that I want to have a function that returns a value. Okay, I want to have a function that returns a value, and I want to print that somewhere else in the program. So how will I be able to do that? So here I can do, instead of this add, I can make it integer add, and I'm done. So I don't need to display it here. So let me just. So instead of doing that, not displaying here, I'll display it somewhere else. But instead of doing this, what this will do, I'm going to return this sum. Now this sum will be with the sum of the variables that I have supplied. Similarly, here I just want to add integer subtract. I don't want to display it here. I just want to return this difference. Similarly, for product also, I just want to have this as integer, and instead of doing this, I just want to return this value. Return. Okay, actually, let me make it p because I can't have the same. Okay, return p. These two should be different. Now here, instead of this division, okay, this is okay. Division also I will do the same. So let me just have this as integer. And okay, first divided by second. So remove this part, and here I can have the return division. Okay, so I just returned all the value. So these are the functions that returns the value, but they are not seen here. So instead of calling this add here, what I can do is just I can change the message. I can just write the sum of so and so is so. So this could be your first, second and add function. So 0, 1, and 2, and everything will be repeated in a similar fashion. So instead of this one, I could be having a difference. I could be having a difference of this one. So let me just copy this and let me paste it here. So the difference of this and this is difference. Subtract maybe. Okay, this is functioning. Similarly for this also, let me just have it. The product of so and so is product. And here you have a divide. The quotient of so and so is this way. Divide. So you can so returning a function means you return the function. Instead of this, function will be acting as a variable if you return a value. Let's run and check. Yeah. So let's say 1, first number at 45, 12. The sum of 0 and 0 is 57. Okay, so there is a problem here. You got this 0 and 0 is 57. Okay, alright, no problem. So you got this 0 because of some reasons. Because we got this 0, 0. Because we have assigned this as 0. If you get value is coming here. First plus second. Returning sum, but still you are getting the value of it says 0 and 0. So let us say there is some bug in my program. So Sumit Powell is still not able to join because he might be joining with some college email. So let us see what issues we have here. Yes, anybody? So let us try to understand what issues are here. So we have a get value function which is setting up the value, but once you go down we are going out of the scope of the variable. Let's see how the things are being iterated here. Alright, now everyone, so I understood why is the things happening here. The sum of 0 and 1 is 2 because your this function is called back later on. First of all, the value of a first is, let's say, first is called, then second is called, then this function is being called. That's why we are getting it. If we would have called this earlier, then obviously there would be no issue. So if you can just have this, okay, so instead of since we are calling this later on, so value of the first of all, this value of first is 0, the value of second is 0, but when this function is called, then the value of first and the second will be changed, and then you'll be able to print the value of first and the second. So we have a serious issue here now, everyone. It's all about making a function call. Because of function call, we're having an issue here. Because since this is called later on, so we are having an issue. So we can change the statement something like this. We can just make it something like this. We could make it, let's say, sum 0 first number 1, and we could have made it second number something like this. We could do. So we could be having some what is it? Some isn't it? Or add first and second. So this could be the one of the many ways to solve 0, 1, and 2. So if you do that, first of all addition will be called, and then the first and the second value will be assigned to that. Let me run and show you the output here. Let's say 1, first number let's say 100, and second number let's say 200. Now it gives you first number, okay, sum 300, first number 100 and second number 200. So this is how it will work. Now if you call it later on, then the first value will be initially 0, second value will be initially 0, and after calling the first one, the value will change, so that you won't be able to retrieve the updated value. So that you have to be very careful in making a function call everyone. So what do you call at the beginning really matters. So if you have to make a very good sequence. So sequencing has to be done. What has to be called in the beginning and what has to be called later on. So this is important. For example, here, if you are calling this function later on, this first will be initially 0, second will be initially 0, and after calling subtract, the value of first will change and second will change. But since you have already printed this value of first and second, this value will be printed as 0 and 0. So you'll be left with some conflict. Anyway, everyone, so this is not a major issue here. So thus I wanted to show you how you can use a function that can return a value here. Okay, how you can use a function that can return a value. Now this is a bit tricky It's somewhat very tricky, everyone. So let me try to make it, give you a very simple example, and then let's try to manipulate on the function that returns a value. So let me write one another program that will help you to clarify the function that returns a value. So let us write another program, write a program that reads the percentage, that reads the, let's say, percentage, or let's say that returns the percentage, reads and returns, let's say reads and returns the percentage. Your program should print whether the student had passed, like pass or fail. Uh, then the conditions being student pass a percentage is greater or equal to 50. Let's say I need to write a program that reads and returns percentage, and my program should print whether the student has passed or failed. If it's passed or failed. Conditions being the student pass a percentage is greater or equal to 50, otherwise the student fails. So let's say this is a very simple operations that we want to do, and let's see uh, this program, everyone. So we need to read the percentage and return the percentage. So let us say let's go to new program, and I'm going to leave it, call it returning percentage. And here I need to create a function that returns percentage. Let's say I just want to create a function. And this one is reading a percentage. Let's say I may ask him slash enter the percentage score and read this percent. Let's say double percent equals to okay. So we read the percentage, and this time we want to return this percentage. Alright, so still my program objective is not fulfilled. I have created a function called percentage, which is returning a percent which is to be read by the user, and on depending upon this percentage, I need to check whether the student has got a pass mark or a fail mark. So here I will go into the main program and I will create another variable called double P, and now this is equal to percentage. That means whatever the value the user will input here will be set inside this P variable. Now I can make a decisions. If P is greater or equal to 50, then the student is passed. I can just tell student has passed. Otherwise, I can tell him else. I just can tell him a student has failed. Alright. Okay, everyone. So let's say this one. So just our objective was to write a program to read the percentage, and your program should fill whether the student has passed or failed, and the conditions being are the student passed if it is more, if his percentage is greater or equal to 50, otherwise it fails. So we need to create a function. We need to create a function called percentage that returns a value, that returns a percentage. And this is what I have done. I have created a function called percentage of return type double, and this function is reading the percentage, and this is returning the percentage whatever we have entered. And then in the main program I am storing this value percentage value returned from the function in some variable, and I am checking if percentage is greater or equal to 50, then the student has passed, otherwise the student has failed. Let's run and check. Let's say the student obtained 87, the student has passed. Good. Again let's run and check. 45, the student has failed. Alright everyone, so this is a very simple program. Now if you have any question here anyone, so please raise your question here. If you have any question with this program, you can raise your question here everyone. If you have a question here, you can raise your question here, because I'm writing a very simple program. So if you have any question, you can just write your question. Otherwise, if you understand, write understood. Otherwise, you can post your question. If you have understood this, then write understood. Otherwise, you can post the questions for this problem here. Nickel understood, and what else others? Please make me a very quick information, everyone. Okay, Karan understood. You got understood. Okay. Okay, Sumit, it seems that many of you have understood this program. Now, let us try. Now, what I really want you to do is to do some questions right now, because before I start with the next part, I would like you to solve some questions before I. Okay, let me again get into more complicated cases. So these are only simply returning double, integer, float, character, whatever, isn't it? So let's say I want to return some other data type variable. Let me assume some scenario. What should I assume? Public. Let us give you one more example, more complex than this. Okay. There could be a function. Okay. Let's say this could be one. Now you might have seen this something really wide and different. And what is this? What do you think this is? Any one of you? What do you think this is? String and the square bracket. What do you think is the meaning of the string and the square bracket here? Any idea, anyone? What is the meaning of string and the square bracket here? Can I have a very quick information from any one of you? What is the meaning of string and the square bracket here? Don't you have any idea what is this all about? String and the square bracket, anyone? We have learned this in collections, if you remember. You forget this fast. This is array. Do you remember? Yes, a string array. This is array. Now what this function is doing, this function is returning a type array, right? So let me create an array variable, a string names equals to, let's say, I have few names here. Let's say I just want to have some name. For example, I want to have Akash, and then Abhinav, let's say Karan Guru, let's say Ishwar, Naresh, Miguel, Nikhil. Okay, I have a few names here. I am getting this as error because I have not written anything. But let's say I'm just doing return names. Alright, no error because this is a string array and this is array and this function is returning array. Alright everyone, so you got it. Now how to work with this array everyone. So let us see now everyone. Now I need to, in order to get this, I need to have an array n equals to, let's say, friends. So this n is equal to now array and friends is returning an array. That's why I have to store that in an array. Now I can iterate through each and every elements of n. For example, what I can do for integer I equals to 0, I is less than n dot length, I plus plus, and I can read my friend's name here. Ni. Let's do second one. See, in one function we created an array. In the calling main function we defined a variable as array. We store both functions inside a variable, and we are able to iterate through each and every elements of this array elements. This is coming from this function. Alright everyone, so this is tricky, isn't it? This is somewhat tricky. So do you get this for everyone? So are you understanding this stuff? Not so easy to understand for a very beginning. So do you get this everyone? So did you understand this question? How I created a function that has an array as a return type. I defined some array elements and returned the array. When I went to the main function, what I have to do is I have to simply define this array data type. I can store this function as an array variable and I can iterate through just like what I used to do with the array. So did you get my point everyone? Are you clear with this stuff or not? Okay, you get yes. Sabine, yes. So thank you for all of the confirmations everyone. So I would like to give you some questions and then I would like you to solve the question and submit it by tomorrow morning. So this is what I want you to solve. This question. I want you to solve this question. Okay. So I would like you to solve this question, everyone, and return back. Show me the solutions by tomorrow morning. Before you come to the class, make sure you have solved this question. This question. So for today, we'll end up today's sessions, everyone. And before I leave, I need to take your attendance. So let me take your attendance, then you can look for today's session. All right, now everyone. So let me just take today's attendance. Cars, Chiu, Nina Adhikari, Karen Giving, Naresh. It is Neeraj Adhikari, Rajwal Paul. Okay, Neeraj Mahato. Neeraj Mahato, oh, sorry. Naresh Giri, Naresh Software, sorry. Neeraj Mahato. Neeraj Mahato. Neeraj Mahato. Oh, Rajwal Paul, and then what we have is two girls, they are not interested in the class. And there is the one who will complain at later on that we don't have a class. Pratik Gurum, Sumit Paudel, Sumit Kumar, and Yugal Srestha. So I think these are the students we have in the class today. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Only 12 students in the class. Okay, anyone? Let me set this and get back to you. Let's go to section C. Sector. Okay, everyone, you can take a break now, and I will catch you tomorrow, everyone, again. All right, everyone. So let us. I'll see you tomorrow again. So take care, everyone.